Hi, so I'm David Astin. I'm Executive Principal at Harris Federation. I joined the Harris Federation in 2008 and I currently oversee two schools. One is Harris Orpington and one is Harris Girls Academy Bromley. So I started teaching in 1995 in a school in Milton Keynes. I became head of department there. I then moved to London in 2003. I became head of department of another school. And then in 2008, I became faculty director for the sixth form at Harris City Academy Crystal Palace. In about 2010, I became vice principal for the sixth form federation. So I had responsibilities across a number of schools in terms of sixth form. September 2014, I was appointed to be principal at Harris Girls Academy Bromley. And I worked at Harris Girls Academy Bromley until 2018, when I became executive principal over Harris Girls Academy Bromley and Harris Academy Orpington. Oh, it's fantastic. The role is really creative, surrounded by lots of incredibly inspirational people. We are in the business, I think, of changing lives as teachers. And at Harris, obviously, that's a really important part of the work that we do. Going into schools and working with schools to create an outstanding environments of learning, which is what I've spent the last 10 years or so doing. And it's an incredibly rewarding and satisfying job. So I really enjoy it. I think I started NPQH in 2013 and it was a really fantastic opportunity for me to spend time with some of the most successful leaders in education, because the facilitators are experienced senior leaders themselves, so you get the opportunity to spend some time with those fantastic leaders and learn from them and listen to them. And in terms of preparation for headship, it's a really good opportunity to listen to different people's ideas and different people's approaches to things, and then start to galvanize your own views on how you would run schools. NPQs also provide fantastic facilities in terms of the opportunity to sit in a room with other people in a similar position in their careers and discuss with them and debate with them what the key issues are. But you also get access to fantastic materials and research and reading. So you can read things that have been handpicked by people who've used them in their careers to get to where they are. So you have this sort of three-pronged process really, which is enormously beneficial. So from my perspective, NPQH was pivotal, I think, in terms of cementing what my vision for headship was, but also maybe inspiring me to go for it. I think NPQs is a fantastic way of having the opportunity to spend some time with people who are doing those roles, because the facilitators are obviously people who are doing the roles that you're perhaps aspiring to do. So that's a really important thing, I would say. Reading is something that's very difficult in terms of a busy role and a busy job. And so having the NPQ is an opportunity to have some time to sit and read materials that have been handpicked for you. So I would advocate for that. And then also if somebody is interested in becoming a senior leader, for example, the NPQSL is a really good way of having some time to just think about how you would approach that role, having met people who are doing it or have done it, having read the materials that you've got access to, and then sort of cementing your own vision for doing it. So I would say, NPQs is a really good way of preparing for the next stage of your career, and would heartily recommend them. So I think one of the things that is difficult, and certainly in my earlier career, it was really difficult to find time to sit and think, and really difficult to find time to read and keep up to date with up-to-date research. Education is very evidence-focused, and decisions that we're making, particularly now the world's changed a lot, we need to be making sure that we're making evidence-informed decisions. And doing NPQs gives you that opportunity for space, but it also gives you the opportunity to read and have access to fantastic research. And so the leaders that have worked with me, and there are many, many of them, they've really benefited from that opportunity to have a think about key issues that they're struggling with perhaps, but also they've become much more evidence focused in terms of their decision making and their approach to challenges and problems. So it sort of lifted the bar quite considerably in terms of the way that we're able to operate in schools. So I have been a facilitator for NPQSL, NPQH. I've been a coach on the NPQH, and I've been a coach on the NPQEL. And I think, you know, I passionately believe that education needs the best teachers. I think it's the best way to spend your professional life. And so we have a fantastic opportunity through these programs to spend time with people who are excited about their futures, interested in the process of learning. So it's a really creative process. Spending time with aspiring senior leaders is enormously fulfilling and motivating, and hopefully I've had some part to play in inspiring them to stay in education and to seek fantastic careers in education. Obviously we need amazing head teachers running schools, and so I've been involved hopefully a little bit in trying to encourage people to apply for those positions. Sometimes people are nervous about applying for headship, but they should. It's the most amazing job, and through NPQH I've been involved in trying to inspire people to do that. Coaching on NPQEL has been, you know, fascinating and challenging, because you're sitting around with incredibly successful and bright people, and so sometimes trying to keep up has been a challenge, but you're really reassured about the sort of future of education, because, you know, everybody that I've met's been amazing. How's it impacted me? I think having the opportunity, 2 or 3 weeks ago I did a day of NPQSL training, and if you're sitting in a room with 30 incredibly bright, fantastic people, it's a really enriching experience, and listening to their views on things is a really good way of challenging your own perhaps preconceptions, reshaping your own ideas. I learn as much from those days as the participants will learn, but also it keeps you fresh, because one of the things that I think is sometimes challenging in schools is that you can become accustomed to the environment that you're in, and stepping out of that environment and spending a day with NPQSL candidates from all over the country, or NPQH candidates from all over the country. It's a really creative process that enables you to think deeply about the role that you have and how you're approaching it, and maybe coming up with some different ways and some different ideas. So I find it, you know, really rewarding. In terms of what people might learn from having spent the day with me in a room, I think I've obviously been doing this for a long time. I've learned a lot of things along the way, I think. Done some things that I can share that perhaps worked or maybe even didn't work. So I think one of the key parts of the NPQ program is the facilitators, and making sure that the facilitators are people who've done the job. And it's more than authenticity, because they know what it's like to do the job because they've done it. And so there's a real sense that you're learning and benefiting from people's previous experience. So if I've done any of that, then I think I would be pleased.
Thank you.